Donald J. Trump was elected as the 45th President of the United States. Throughout his campaign, Trump promised his voters many things. Some of these promises including building a wall on the border of the U.S. and Mexico, stopping ISIS, drastically cutting taxes, and repealing the Obamacare Act. Now officially in command of the country, President Trump, as well as Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, have not been shy to talk about this touchy subject. According to CNN Politics, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan has recently announced that the GOP will be conducting a full repeal of the Obamacare Act. According to the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Planned Parenthood is a nonprofit health organization that provides sexual and reproductive healthcare information, as well as education to men and women across the country. Throughout the United States, there are 650 health clinics scattered throughout, and an estimated 1 in 5 women have visited a Planned Parenthood center throughout her life. Throughout my speech today, I will be discussing why the government should leave Planned Parenthood out of the Obamacare Act repeal in order to stop the defunding. If the government were to defund Planned Parenthood, it would take away federal grant money from the nearly 650 clinics in the United States. With the Obamacare Act in place, private health insurance companies are able to provide women birth control as well as other preventative health services with little to no copay and deductibles. Planned Parenthood is also able to be reimbursed for the health services that they provide to their patients by Medicaid, such as breast exams, STD testing, and pap smears. On January 6, 2017, Congresswoman Diane Black reintroduced H.R. 354, the Defund Planned Parenthood Act. According to Congresswoman Black's website, this legislation would place a 1-year moratorium on Planned Parenthood on all federal funding for Planned Parenthood. The moratorium would continue until Planned Parenthood certifies that they will stop providing abortions to their patients or funding other entities that do so. As stated by a quote from Congresswoman Black, this bill is about promoting true women's health care over abortion, as well as honoring U.S. taxpayers who don't want their tax dollars used to fund a scandal-ridden abortion enterprise. However, what supporters of H.R. 354, as well as Congresswoman Black, have seemed to forget is 97% of all Planned Parenthood services are preventative health services. According to the Vice President of the Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Don Loggins, Planned Parenthood provides STD and STI treatment and testing, access to contraception, breast, colon, testicular, and other cancer screenings, as well as vaccinations. Don Loggins mentions in an interview with Democracy Now! How Planned Parenthood and the Obamacare Act have created a mom tax. This mom tax refers to the $1.4 billion that is saved each year from the nearly 55 million women who obtain their birth control through either Planned Parenthood or Medicaid. If the Obamacare Act were to be repealed, this $1.4 billion would be placed back into the budgets of the 55 million women who obtain birth control each year. And according to the Washington Post, while Congresswoman Black is worried about American taxpayers' money being used to fund a scandal-ridden abortion enterprise, by defunding Planned Parenthood and repealing the Obamacare Act, over the first decade, it would cost American taxpayers an additional $650 million. This new bill calls for the federal funds for Planned Parenthood being transferred to federal community health centers across the country that provide similar services to Planned Parenthood, however don't provide abortions. In a CNN town hall on January 12, 2017, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan stated, "By putting these dollars into federal health centers, which provide the same services as Planned Parenthood, for every Planned Parenthood center, there are 20 federal community health centers. These are vastly bigger in network, there are much more of them, and they provide these kinds of services without all the controversy of abortion." When Speaker of the House Ryan is referring to federal community health centers, he's referring to the 9,800 health centers in the Federal Health Center program, as well as the 4,100 in the Rural Health Clinic program. And while Speaker of the House Ryan is correct in saying that there are far more federal community health centers, the Congressional Research Service found that federal community health centers provide far less contraceptive services to their patients. In 2014, Planned Parenthood provided 3.6 million contraceptive services. However, the federal community health centers only provided 1.3 million. The Planned Parenthood Federation of America notes that Planned Parenthood serves mainly low-income patients. In 2015, Planned Parenthood served 2.5 million patients, 75% of these patients having income at or below 150% of the federal poverty line. According to the Washington Post, rural health centers are not required to give services to low-income patients like Planned Parenthood centers are. They're not even required to give the same family planning services as Planned Parenthood. If the Obamacare Act were to be repealed, nearly 5 to 25% of all Planned Parenthood patients would be scrambling to find new health centers that would give them access to the same family planning services. Luckily, in December of 2016, former President Obama signed a rule that prohibited state governments from discriminating family planning providers for a reason other than anything but the quality of the care they provide to their patients. However, in February of 2017, the House voted 230 to 188 to overturn Obama's rule. According to Vox, the overturning of Obama's rule will now give states the opportunity to choose how they spend their federal grant money. This gives states an opportunity to target Planned Parenthood centers and defund their federal grant money just because they provide abortion services. Luckily, in late February of 2017, a U.S. District Judge from Austin, Texas, Sam Sparks, granted Planned Parenthood centers in Texas an injunction. An injunction is a temporary block, and in this case, this temporary block would stop the termination of $4 million worth of federal grant money to Planned Parenthood centers throughout the country, or throughout the state of Texas, sorry. Sam Sparks initiated this injunction due to what happened in 2011. According to the Washington Post, in 2011, Texas state legislature cut the family planning budget from $111 million to just $38 million. This federal budget cut resulted in 82 health centers, or 1 in every 4 in Texas, to close or stop the provision of preventative services to women and men. This caused a 36% reduction in IUD provision, a 31% reduction in injectable contraceptive provision, and as well as an overall reduced primary care access for low-income patients. In conclusion, the federal government needs to be aware of what they'll be taking away from not only women, but the whole country as well, with the HR 354 bill. The law ensures that women as well as men have access to health and preventative services in any time of need. By defunding these clinics, it will leave many people second-guessing if and where they will be able to receive health care. No man or woman should ever be in fear of whether or not they'll be able to get help in a time of need. And the government must work to protect this. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.